Good morning. You know, no matter how bad a day Travis might be having, it cannot possibly be worse than Rand Paul's, and it's only 9:08 Eastern.
What has he done this morning? I haven't.
Nothing yet that I know of.
Has he been?
The last couple days have just been awful for him.
Yeah, they have.
Has he been a sexist to any other women in the meantime? Have you seen those? Yeah. Oh my God! Did you see? Was that Savannah Guthrie? Which one was that, Carl?
CNBC. I think MSNBC. He was lecturing her on how journalists are supposed to ask questions.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was Savannah Guthrie on Today's Show.
There were two. There were two.
To a not licensed, not really licensed optometrist.
Yeah, please let him be the nominee against Hillary.
Explain a journalist how to do their job.
Yeah. He actually said shush. Did you see it? He put his finger up and he said, no, shh. Now calm down.
Well, and that's just the first couple days here.
Yeah.
And he knows journalism. I mean, he studied at the knee of his father when those newsletters were being put together for his father, the ones with all the racism, homophobia, and right-wing conspiracy theories.
Yes. I mean, I've said this early on. He's a jerk.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's
an ass.
He's a hot-tempered little jerk.
This is a common thread among libertarianism. They all think that they're better and smarter than everyone else because, in general, they think we're better than conservatives because we're socially liberal. We're better than liberals because we're economically conservative. No, what actually happens is that you're a 17-year-old with stunted, brain development.
Yeah, and by the way, how did that go for him when he tried it out with Rhodes Scholar Rachel Maddow? Remember that? I mean, that's why he just got nailed because he tried that condescending tone with her, and she got him on record as saying he would have voted against the Civil Rights Act.
Right, nothing like libertarian principles to dictate absolute craziness. Opposition to the Civil Rights Act and everything else from the Civil Rights era. And this is why his campaign is going to be a bust, because now he's having to reverse himself on all sorts of libertarian ideals, the ones that make him, popular with young people, just to appeal to the octogenarians that fuel the Republican primaries.
Right. Well, I mean, that's why I think that one was Savannah Guthrie. He so clearly has flip-flopped on every issue. She was simply stating that, and he just tried to talk over her. And no. You didn't ask the question right.
How about asking me if I've changed my position? That would be a better journalistic question.
Well, and in reality, there is no real distinction there. I mean, the ways that she presented the information was as a journalist should, as factual information.
Right. Well, yeah, and we have it, and it's also clearly not. It's not just she's saying that. This is what's already being said. He's going to have to address this. I mean, if he thinks he's going to come out of the box, giving these sexist, condescending lectures to journalists, and that's going to,
I mean, the big problem is that he starts from a presumption that the media has a liberal bias.
Yeah.
This is where conservatives come from, right?
Yeah.
They're always looking for an opportunity to blame the liberal media so that they can raise money, they can grow their email list. They believe the media is liberal. They believe science is liberal, letters, numbers, shapes, colors.
Here's so people can hear the tone we're talking about. He is with Savannah Guthrie.
Before we go through a litany of things you say I've changed on, why don't you ask me a question? Have I changed my opinion on? That would be sort of a better way to approach an interview.
Okay.
That would be a better way to approach an interview.
Wow. He's going to try that. What a jerk.
I hate to tell him, but there's a better way to approach a campaign for president.
Yeah, exactly. You being, a campaign consultant and all.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've known people that have worked for him over the years. Mm-hmm. It is not surprising to me in the slightest that he's been embroiled in plagiarism scandals, that he would lecture a journalist live on television when he's trying to not, trip over himself in his campaign announcement. This is not a mature candidate or a mature campaign.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and I'm like, what is with the, first we had John McCain and now this guy in terms of just like impulse or anger management that like a 8-year-old has usually mastered, right?
Well, it's just brimming right below the surface, and he's not the only one this cycle who we're going to see this from.
Yeah.
They all look for their one opportunity to really pounce on media for some, purported liberal bias.
Yeah, we have to find that other clip, Chris. I don't know who it was, Carl. I'm forgetting now on CNBC, but that he literally shushed her, put her hand out. I mean, that was even worse than the Savannah Guthrie one. He said, shh, now, calm down. It literally was like, calm down, little lady. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that he is a tiny little man.
Yeah.
I met him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner a few years ago, and I would guess, like, if I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, that he's like 3.5 feet tall.
That's what Kathleen Madigan said. Kathleen Madigan has met him. And she's, what is she? How tall is she?
She's about 5'2",
and she said, he was shorter.
He's shorter than her.
Yeah, so if Iran was shushed by Rand Paul in his little striped boy's ice cream shirt, I'm sure they would shush.
Yeah, Sparrow's shirt.
It's a matter of time before we see he and his father on the campaign trail wearing elf outfits. Well, actually, father in the closet. So,
Karl, as a campaign strategist, this is kind of hilarious to me too. That he's making a point of saying, "I'm going where Republican candidates don't go, and I'm trying to outreach. I'm going to black communities." It's like, well, it'd be better if you hadn't hired the Southern Avenger. As your campaign manager. Your dad had, like you said, us all these racist emails, and you're on record as saying you wouldn't have voted for the Civil Rights Act, right?
Right, and the Southern Avenger thing was not the first time he's had a problem with race around him, where he doesn't consider that stuff fireable. It's just something that somebody can apologize and move on for.
Yeah.
And this is a problem that's systemic in libertarianism and Ron Paul and Rand Paul. For some reason, virulent racists, homophobes, and anti-Semitics are drawn to that ideology.
Yeah.
Probably in part because they see the government telling them that their viewpoints is wrong and incorrect, is some kind of infringement on their freedom and liberty, which kind of is how they feel about all politics.
Thank God they're going to have a Hispanic candidate in Jeb Bush.
Right. It's actually Heb Bush.
Heb.
Yes.
Heb.
Yes, you tweeted about that. Serious candidate Jeb Bush lists himself as Hispanic on his voter registration form.
I mean, how many times do we have to be told that this guy's serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he's a serious felon. I mean, if Republicans cared about voter fraud, which they purport to,
let's lock that down.
Make an example out of this guy.
That is a felony, isn't it?
What more of a high-profile candidate? Yes, he signed under penalty of perjury. It's a felony in Florida. What more example do you need to set? I mean, here's why this matters. I mean, you look at the voter suppression laws that are put in all over the country, and they are purposely designed to screw people up on minute details, right? So you forget to put street with your street name, you forget to put your apartment number, you don't remember your zip code, you forget to sign your name with your middle initial, and they will try and bounce you from the election, from the voter rolls. This is the type of stuff that they go after. They should be going after Jeb Bush to make an example of him.
Yeah. And there they are out of the clown car, out of the starting gate. Out of the starting gate, we have Rand Paul. First of all, spelled education wrong on his website. Ted Cruz failed to lock down
education.
He failed to lock down TedCruz.com, and Jeb Bush makes a mistake on his voter registration form.
That. I mean, I think Rand Paul's campaign had these little make-your-own signs for supporting him for your social media accounts. One of them was just Jew for Rand.
Jew for Rand?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Yikes.
All right.
Yikes. By the way, tweet I very much agree with you. Said if Senator Chuck Schumer won't support President Obama's Iran deal, he shouldn't replace Harry Reid as Senate Democratic leader. I couldn't. Karl, I thought my head was going to explode yesterday. I'm reading a piece about and I'm like, here we go again. Didn't the Democrats learn a lesson from this last election cycle? Stand with the president. If I have to read one more thing like, nervous Democrats are signing on to Corker's bill, it's like, go ahead.
I mean, Chuck Schumer is a brilliant political strategist. Yeah. He was the chairman of the DSCC when Democrats won seats in 2006 and 2008 when we won the majority and strengthened the majority. He's very smart, but he's wrong on some very important issues. He's wrong on this, and he's too close to the financial industry.
Yeah,
I think it's the product of being a senator from New York, but he is way too close to Wall Street.
Karl, it's like, it's why we don't have a public option. It's why we took a beating in this last election cycle, because they won't stand with the president and his accomplishments. Every line is, nervous Democrats fill in the blank.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lame duck president and they're afraid they won't look strong enough and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God, there's not even an agreement yet. What about the precedent of weighing in on something when there's not even an agreement yet? There's not even a deal before they're trying to scuttle it, right?
Well, I mean, they're certainly wanting a much larger role in this than they want in our trade deals. And, there's currently discussions going on for super secret trade deals that no information is being made public about.
Yeah.
And you don't see Congress or members of our party standing up and, well, I mean, you do hear some members of our party standing up and asking for some transparency, but you don't hear it from the folks that should be talking about it. You know, we need a lot more transparency on that stuff. And we're getting plenty of transparency here, and we don't even have a deal yet.